My name is Rachel. I teach middle school history. I used to use Kahoot as a teacher, and now I currently switched to Nearpod. For more reviews like this, click below. So, both Kahoot and Nearpod are really, really great for assessing all of your students as a teacher. Where a lot of ways right now you can kind of lose student engagement. Both of these apps and programs allow you to make sure that you have every single student in your classroom engaged and you're able to assess them by asking questions. It can be quizzes. But most importantly, just knowing that every single person in your classroom has to respond to these answers so you're really able to gauge where all of your students stand on any type of assessment. So Nearpod is best for a lot of things, but my favorite is that as a teacher, we know we don't have that much time to reinvent the wheel, and you don't have to with Nearpod. So what you get to do is you have a huge database of a library of already made lessons or quizzes, even videos that you can choose from. So I get to come in and not have to reinvent the wheel because I get to select lessons that are already made and then apply them to my classes, which I love because I can tweak things if I need to, change things for where my students are. But I don't have to spend all of that time prepping and again reinventing that wheel, which as teachers we all love. So, Kahoot is definitely best for a fun way to engage your students. My kids love Kahoot, they beg for it, which is awesome because sometimes I feel like they don't even realize that they're learning and kind of being quizzed because kids love competitions, and that's exactly what Kahoot is, right? You're reviewing them and you're quizzing them, but it's in this really fun, competitive way where my classroom gets loud and excited. So it's definitely best for just a really fun way to engage and test all of your students. So I would say it's actually pretty easy for both Kahoot and Nearpod to get started. As a teacher, obviously, you really need to figure out how to go about the programs yourself, but both of these platforms have already made lessons or quizzes that you can just apply to your class. If you want to dig a little bit deeper and make your own, it does take a little bit of, prep work of learning how it works. But I would say both of these are really easy for your students to learn immediately. They're super user friendly. I would say it took my students, one, maybe two times to really understand how to work it because it's made with the students in mind. So they're super, super easy from both this teacher and the student standpoint. So, as a teacher, there's a few things that are really important when looking for these platforms. The first one, obviously, as teacher, is the money. What's great about both of these is there are free versions of both, so you don't have to pay any money for Kahoot or for Nearpod. However, in order to get a little more advanced, you do have to pay a really small fee for both of them. So I personally do pay for the version for Kahoot. Unfortunately, my school pays for the version of Nearpod. So that was one really important thing to me was having access to something that I didn't have to pay for or the price is minimal. The next one is obviously most important as a teacher. You don't want to spend all of this time prepping. So, my favorite thing about both of these is that they both have a library of already made lessons or quizzes or activities that you can choose from. There's days where, at the end of a class, I'm like, oh man, I have 10 minutes left. What am I going to do? Let's go to Kahoot. Let's go to Nearpod. Let's see if there's something in their library that's already made. So, instead of spending those last 10 minutes trying to do something, I can just jump on those platforms and they already have things made for me to apply. So, as a teacher, I would say our time and our money are most important, and both of those platforms are great for both of those aspects.